Around 6 a.m. on November 8, 2013, the Filipino city of Tacloban was hit by one of the worst storms ever to hit a major urban center. Typhoon Yolanda, or Haiyan, struck an unprotected coastline packed with low-quality housing. Evacuation orders were issued. The city was ready for the usual wind, rain, and flooding. But it was not prepared for a super typhoon and a 7-meter-high storm surge. 3,000 or more people lost their lives in the city that day. Many more lost their homes and livelihoods. Today is a Sunday before Christmas. It's a day of remembrance. 30 days after, Yolanda survivors recall the events of that day.
It was November 6, 9 in the morning. We had a notice from the city government, and we, barangay chairman of 138 barangays, was invited to attend the meeting, instructing us to evacuate our people as early as possible to avoid the super typhoon Yolanda. But not all barangay chairman attended the meeting. Told us to announce to the people to evacuate because the typhoon is super. I invited my council to the barangay hall, then we had a meeting informing them also to evacuate our people to our designated evacuation center, which is the Anibong Elementary School, because the typhoon is super and it can kill us. Then we did that again on November 7 in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. Some of our constituents did not go to the Anibong Elementary School, our evacuation center. They prefer to go to the house of Ida because the house of Ida is a concrete house and it's a new build house. So probably they believe that they will be safe there. But the house was heated by the ship. So it collapsed and they drowned and they died. They stayed in their homes because they believed they will be safe in their home, even if we forced them to go to the evacuation center. We're not allowed to build our house here again. This is a no-build zone already. The government will relocate us somewhere in the north. We're not allowed to build us concrete houses now, but for temporary, yes. But you will build concrete houses. The government will not allow anymore.
We see all our constituents here, personally, house to house, that we have an evacuation center. If the strong will come, go stronger. The evacuation center is still open and have places to evacuate. But then they only said to us that, okay, Cap, thank you, we will evacuate later on. If we cannot go to the evacuation center, we will go to the big houses to save their lives. But then later on, after the typhoon, we found out that all houses there, concrete or not concrete, are washed out. So that's why there are more lives was gone. Since you are all aware already, then we are very much learned about the information given by the media, the press. Then we have to follow. That would be the lesson. I have to confirm them, talk to them one by one to say that this is not the safe area now. We have to evacuate little by little, sir, until the time they will understand.
I informed the people, disseminate information regarding the disaster, and tell them to evacuate immediately. So 3 days before the disaster, I keep on evacuating people to the evacuation center. I even did not sleep for 2 nights because I keep on evacuating the people to the evacuation center, which is the Astrodome in the public schools. Others believe me, that others just ignore it because they did not expect that it will be the worst typhoon ever. I have a brother in Dubai informing us and telling us that he could see from the satellite that the typhoon is very strong and the ocean will rise. So he kept on calling us. That is why I believe, and I also evacuated my family. I went to the hotel November 7 at 11 p.m. I checked in the hotel with my family 1 day before the disaster.
How was your family?
They are all okay. They are all safe. Our barangay is the most populous in Tacloban City, having more than 11,000 people living in it. Some of the houses situated along the seashore. Some of them evacuated, but some others did not listen. I keep on crying because about 1,500 houses were vanished. It's so horrible. There are still some missing, but according to my people, maybe more or less 1,000 people in my barangay only have died. After the disaster, my friends tell me all about their experience, how they survive. They go to the roofings and some others on the coconut tree, just hugging the coconut tree, handling it so tightly. The others use materials such as containers, holding it so tight, and some other way that they could survive. There are families there are 12 members in the family and one only that survived. The others with 6 children died. So many people died. That is why, the reason why it's hard for us to rebuild the barangay faster, because there are some more debris. We have no such equipment to carry it out from our barangay. The challenge is not to leave them, to keep on working of rebuilding our barangay. I challenge to love them most. This is the time that they need me. It's a lesson learned. Next time that there will be an announcement to evacuate them, the people keep on telling that they would listen to me.
So this is the grade 6 classroom. The grade 6 classroom. It's no longer, has no more there are about 5 families living here. There are 5 families staying here, and they are now downstairs in their own place to build their house. So at present, there are more than mga 200 plus families are here. Mga 232 families are still in the campus. So normally we have our enrollment is 1,540. So as of June, and now we had our head count just last Friday. Our head count came to 693, I think, like that. 693 pupils reported as of last Friday. So there's still many who did not reported to school. Some children, especially in Barangay 70, there were many pupils who died because families in the Barangay 70 were died by families. So, and their children are included. That's why we are very sure that those children in Barangay 70, many died.
And in our barangay, only few children died. I think counted only, mga very, very few. Only in barangay 70 have many. In the barangay 70, during the pre-typhoon, there was forced evacuation. It was because the typhoon was Friday and Wednesday, Thursday, the barangay chairman went around the barangay to have forced evacuation. So families were already in the school Thursday, the whole day, they already started to vacate their place to stay in the school. That's why their families were saved. But in barangay 70, although they were told to vacate, they did not listen to the chairman because they are confident that their houses is very is concrete and they will not be destroyed by the typhoon. And so that's what happened. There were so many victims of the typhoon Yolanda in that place. Wash out. Nothing. We left nothing except our lives. There was no clear information. There was no clear information that the typhoon, although some information said the typhoon is very, very strong, but according to them that it is a tidal wave who destroy our place. But we do not know that is the tidal wave who will visit our place. That's why we did not. If I knew that it is a tidal wave, I think I will bring all our appliances here in school, so that at least we save some of our properties. Personally, we are now trying to rebuild our house. We're trying to start because although we have some hearsay because there was no clear information from the government. So if we will not try to build our house, then where will we go? We will still stay in the campus because there was no formal information from the government. Even from the chairman, there was no formal information that the people here will be relocated. There was none. So we try to rebuild our house so that we can vacate also, because it's very hard here. We have lack water.
Up and down, up and down, up and down. The people on the bus goes up and down all through the town.
I am Imelda M. Gayas, the principal of San Fernando Central School under the District Learning Center 2 of the Division of Tacloban City of the Department of Education of the Philippines. Normally we have 2,591 enrollees from kindergarten to grade 6. This is from age 5 years old to 11 years old. Some of them are 12 to 14, depending on the time that the students have been enrolled in school.
What grade are you in?
Grade 5.
Is this your first day back at school?
Yes.
Are you happy to be back?
Yes. Because I'm alive and I can see again my classmates that are alive.
I'm Sheila Samadi Prachna CC Press from PNG Subdivision. We hide in our comfort room because our house collapsed. It's the only place that is safe.
The day before the typhoon, there was an announcement from the LGU that classrooms are not supposed to be as an evacuation center because it's not fitted for 250 kilometers per hour. What's this? The wind that is going to landfall. But it so happened, these people, when I went out to the classrooms and to these buildings, I told them of the risk that they will be facing, but they don't want to transfer to a higher place, so they took the risk of staying here without thinking of the storm surge that is going to happen on the November 8th. The evacuation center just fitted for them to stay for a while, but when they were asked to transfer, they would not go and just stay here. So when the storm surge came over, they had to rush back into that Gabaldon building, the elevated building, so that all of them went in. Some of them went to that new building. Some of them swam so that they would be able to reach the second floor of that building. Just imagine from that area, from that building, the grade 3 building, they have to swim all through going to the second floor of that green building. That's the height. That's the exact length of these people who have been rushing their lives out just to save themselves. There are around 15 children confirmed dead, but the rest are parents of these children. There are reports just as yesterday, one family lost around 5 people, so which they decided to transfer to Manila.
And I'm a local businessman. We own Kenny's and Asia Stars. We've been in business for the last 14 years. No, actually, it's the first time we've closed. Totally closed for 3 days. Because usually before, even if there was a holiday, we wouldn't close for 2 days straight. This is the first time we've been closed for three days straight because of the typhoon. Actually, we were really totaled by the typhoon because the water surge was so high, it really destroyed our store. It got to that point, I think it's around 12 feet, and the water was here for about 6 hours. I think it was seawater. We could smell the salt, and we were sure it was really seawater that came in. The first 3 hours, the water was going inland, and the next 3 hours, it was going back to the ocean. Actually, ever since I've been in Tacloban, and that's like 39 years, we've never had flood in this area, ever. And that was the first one and the worst flood we've ever seen. The most we could have done was move them to the second floor, but we couldn't move a lot because the second floor is also full. So most of the equipments that got wet were heavy. So I think, and we never expected the water to reach that high. Actually, the biggest problem we had were water, fuel, electricity, and communication. Those were the things that we didn't have. When we decided to open the store, we started first with the power. Then within the next few days, we had communication. So then we slowly upgraded everything. So when we had communication, we could order our supplies from the nearby towns. Then we got transportation to get the stuff in. And we were open by no time. Business is a little slow, because we want the businesses to come in, all the other businesses to come in, for them to start employing, giving employment back to the other people, employees, but it seems that they're still a little slow, because I think they have questions with regards to security and the financing. And actually, the power problem is slowly being solved. So I think the two concerns, security and the financing, are the priorities right now. Most of the businesses in Tacloban, I think around 80% are financed by banks. So, and for example, if you have a grocery store, you knew it was about to come to December, so what you did, you stocked for the December, because December usually is the biggest season of the year. So you'd stock a lot of stocks in your store, and you'd usually loan from the bank more money just to fill up the store. Right now, you owe the bank, then you owe your suppliers. Your suppliers won't add more stuff for you to sell because you still owe them. And the bank won't loan you more money because you don't have anything to have as collateral. Those are the things that are, actually, they're very simple things. And we're wondering why the national government isn't doing anything to help us with that problem. The Tacloban police, local police, won't be able to cope with the large volume of potential crimes and problems that may arise. Because right now, Tacloban and the nearby towns are now being covered by police from Manila and some other areas. So it's not really totally local. So we're afraid that if the Manila and other places, police from other places move out, the local police won't be able to cope with the crime that may come up.
I'm a supervisor in Dunkin' Donuts, and I work. My job is in the main shop in Zamora Street. I'm handling there, and now that that shop is damaged, I think I don't have a job for months, a couple of months. And our employer said that they will. Our job will be on January, but some of our employees will not have their job because only few outlets will be open. I think the problem there is they didn't explain us the storm surge. What can storm surge be? We don't know what's that storm surge, and we just know after it that the water will goes up and the water is very cold.
Yesterday we put a street light for the lights of our area, of our barangay, and we got that money to the shipping lines, the Envy David shipping lines. Talk me up and have an agreement that if you can help us, then we will help you. He said if you have your men to put up the cement to the ground, your barangay will have a share at 2 pesos in each bags, while the laborer is 10 pesos. And I grabbed it up. After that, I decided to both a generator, a bulbs, a wire, and this will come up a post, 6 posts yesterday. And yesterday evening, most of us happy, and we felt that Christmas is coming.
Yeah, people do not understand what a storm surge is. I think the better part for the Weather Bureau and even for the local government unit to explain it in the vernacular, because if we have warned them about possible tsunami, I think they would have understood. But our problem is a tsunami can only come from an earthquake. So that is the wrong choice of words. So we have to use another word, which is a storm surge. And I don't think any one of us have ever experienced a storm surge in our lifetime until November 8th. And I think people were prepared against the wind, but they were never prepared against the storm surge. And I think it's the storm surge that caused a lot of death. And what compounded the problem was the day before the super typhoon struck us, November 7, it was so sunny. It was so sunny. And when the government went around and told them that you need to evacuate, some of them were even laughing because it was just so sunny. And you wouldn't believe that a super typhoon was coming. They thought it was forced eviction instead of forced evacuation. And they thought that we're doing this because we want to get rid of the settlers near the coastal area.
So a lot of people resisted the evacuation because...
Yes, because they thought once we evacuate them, they will not be allowed to return to their homes. Men, a lot of husbands, a lot of fathers died only because they stayed in their homes to protect their belongings while they send their wives and children to the evacuation centers.